time, let the moment roll. A good cigar's more than smoke, it's medicine for the soul. Stories burn slow like the embers glow. In the leaf and life, we let the good times flow.
What's up, everybody? It's Joe and Trey.
And this is the Leaf and Life podcast, and this is episode 2 of our smoke break series, where this one we go in, we explore their humidor, and we each pick out a bunch of budget cigars. We try to keep them under $12. I think we did pretty good. I think most of them we kept around the $10 mark, and then we talk about some non-alcoholic pairings and hang out with Izzy a little longer.
Yeah, and the cigars that you guys are going to see in this, we're calling budget friendly. The cigars that you're going to see in this episode are pretty darn good cigars. They're
I think
not.
so. It's all stuff I would smoke, and I have smoked, and I smoke on a regular basis.
Yeah. So they're what I would call everyday smokes. They're not slouches by any means. So stay tuned. Let us know what you think once you guys actually see what we're talking about as far as the budget friendly cigars. We don't want to call them budget or cheap because they're budget friendly, and they're something that every cigar smoker can smoke. So let us know what you think. Again, this is at this particular lounge, and again, we appreciate Izzy for letting us take the time.
Yeah, thank you.
And do the interview with us and do this part with us and letting us use the lounge to host this. So now we've done, you know a little bit more about Izzy, you've seen the shop. The second part of this segment is we want to bring you guys two things. One is non-alcoholic pairings, and the second is budget-friendly cigars. So, and when we were looking at budget-friendly cigars in this day and time where we are at, with tariffs and everything else that's going on, and just really since COVID, since everything's gone up in price in general, it is hard to find a sub $10 cigar in a cigar shop. So that being said, we have both Trey and I have come up with 5. Now that here at the Smoke Break, they had plenty that we could have chose from, but we wanted to bring 5 each, so you get a total of 10 budget-friendly cigars that are also really good. That should be, if they're not, they should be in your humidor, or if you haven't smoked one, you need to at least give them a try. They're great cigars, and then Izzy has a couple of honorable mentions that he wanted to add to it, so he's going to add a couple of those too. But first, let's start talking about the non-alcoholic pairings, because let's face it, you guys that watch the podcast, you guys see me and Trey enjoying a bourbon with every podcast that we do, and but some guys don't smoke, some ladies don't drink, and some are recovering alcoholics and don't want to test their limits. So I get it completely.
And we don't even drink every time we smoke either.
Yes.
Like, we do it for the podcast so we can review the bourbons also. But a lot of times if we're just hanging out, we're just drinking something else.
Yeah. So a lot of times water. So today, a lot of times for me, if I need a little bit of sugar in my system, maybe a little hit of caffeine or whatnot, my drink of choice is Dr. Pepper. And tonight, because I saw it and it looked really good, here at the lounge, it's Dr. Pepper Blackberry, and it is actually really good. I'm pretty impressed. So if you're a Dr. Pepper fan and you haven't tried the Blackberry, definitely check it out. But a couple other things that I normally drink while I'm smoking is, a lot of times it's just water, and it's just to keep the palate wet and keep things fresh. But Dr. Pepper. I'm going to let Trey talk about one that he usually drinks. I don't want to steal his thunder. But another one that I hear a lot of people talk about is cream soda. I'm not a big cream soda guy, so I can't vouch for that, but I hear cream soda all the time. But Trey, why don't you give them a couple that you use?
Yeah, I mean, my go-to non-alcoholic is just a plain seltzer water, which is normally the Liquid Death version, just because I like the big cans. Tonight, I am drinking a Fresca, which is like a grapefruit flavored soda water. It's 0 calories if you're into that kind of thing, which I am. I have been trying to cut weight. Um, and then along with the others, I mean, pretty much any of your normal sodas like Coke. You know, if you're Coke or Pepsi, whichever you like. Root beer is a really good one if you don't want to do caffeine. Um, and then there's diet and zero versions and all of that stuff if you're watching the calories. But like you said, biggest thing is water, whether it's sparkling or flat. Um,
And can I just say, not to interrupt, but the Liquid Death. So for probably about 2 months, every time Trey would come over to the house, I just thought he had a beer, because I don't know if you guys have ever seen Liquid Death or not, but it's a pretty awesome can. Um, it it's a. Do you have one, Izzy? You got one here. Yeah. Izzy's going to show you what the can looks like, and they're a cool can. And for the longest time, I just thought he was drinking a beer. So finally, I asked him. I said, "What kind of beer are you drinking?" He said, "It's water." So I got some, and they have some that taste like Dr. Pepper. They have some that taste like cherry Coke, different flavors, and it's water. So it's it's pretty cool, and it got me hooked. And now I drink a lot of the Liquid Death. My wife will drink a lot of the Liquid Death when we're smoking. Especially, I like the flavored ones. But Izzy's going to show you what a can looks like, and and you keep talking while
yeah, so it's their slogan is "Murder Your Thirst," and you can see it's got the giant skull on the can and all like the gothic type writing. But I've been a fan of them for a while. I cut back on drinking about maybe 2 years ago, and I would get the different flavored Liquid Deaths just to have something instead of drinking beer or whatever I was drinking. And then when I started trying to cut my calories, that's when I started drinking just the plain ones.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's a cool can. Looks like a beer can to me.
Especially the tall cans, they're like 19-ounce cans, and it looks like a tall boy.
How about Izzy? Do you have any pairings that are non-alcoholic that you recommend?
Well, Fresca is actually one of my favorites. Or water. I don't drink alcohol at all.
Okay.
We don't sell alcohol here, but we do sell a lot of non-alcoholic beers, bourbon, whiskey. Believe it or not, they make them all in non-alcoholic, and we sell it all, but we don't sell any alcohol.
All right. So now that we talked about our pairing, our non-alcoholic pairings, we're going to go ahead and go over our cigars. And what we'll do is I'll actually take a picture of each of the cigars, because we're a little bit far away, so I'm not going to keep getting up and bringing it to the camera. But that being said, in no particular order, cigars that I recommend, and I'll go and then you go. We'll kind of do one. So one cigar, and this is a sub $10 cigar. It's a great cigar. It's by Punch, and it's called the Knuckle Buster. It's a great cigar. This is the Habano. I thoroughly enjoy the Habano over the Maduro. I think the Habano was the first one that came out.
I believe so.
And I thoroughly enjoy this one. But again, it's the Punch Knuckle Buster. Highly recommend it.
Punch actually has a few in that, sub $12 range too that are really good cigars.
Yeah, both Punch and CAO.
Yeah.
Both have a lot of good quality cigars in that, sub $12 range.
For mine, the first one I'm gonna go with is the Karen Burger Tailgate. This one is $10. It's a Toro. You can't beat it for the price. It's a great cigar.
So on my next one, since we were just talking about Karen Burger, my next one is the Karen Burger Halftime. So they have this cigar in a Habano and a Maduro, and to me, this probably ranks up there. It may not get cigar of the year as far as cigar aficionado or anything like that, but I personally have bought 3 boxes of these, and I think that you've bought about the same, correct?
I know I smoked one and ordered a box immediately, and then I've gotten another box since then.
Yeah. So, this is the Karenberger Halftime, and as you can see, it's a shorter cigar, and this range, this is definitely under a $10 stick. I want to say it's it's a sub $8 stick, somewhere right around in there, and this is, in my opinion, probably hands down the best cigar that I've smoked this year. Um, as far as new cigars go, same thing. When I smoked it for the first time. I got a sample of it, and I ordered a box immediately. Um, they are limited. The Habano, I think, is going to be around longer. I think that's going to be
got released.
it's a newer release, and I think it's going to be around. I don't think that one's going to be limited. But the Maduro is absolutely amazing. The Habano is a great stick. I can't say enough about this cigar, and it's not just because I'm a Karenberger fan. But Halftime, as you can tell by the tailgate, by Karenberger, the Halftime by Karenberger, they are starting to definitely be in a realm of sports themes. If you have not gotten a Karenberger Halftime or a tailgate, you need to check them out. They're great cigars.
Next up for me is the Charter Oak Maduro. I think this one was right around $10, and it was also a Toro, which this is by Foundation Cigars. So I know we've talked about them on the pod before. Another just really good, solid budget cigar. That was his intention with that Charter Oak line. They have 3 different wrappers. There are multiple sizes in each one, and they're all, I think all of them are right like sub $10 or in that range.
All right. So this is a big one. This is probably online, on Facebook, on social media when people are posting cigars. This is probably one of the more posted cigars out there. And this is the La Aroma de Cuba, the El Jefe. And again, a great cigar, a very large cigar. This is, can't see it. This is 6 by 60. And this is, again, a sub $12 cigar for that price range, for that size of a cigar, and the quality of this cigar. You just can't beat it.
All right, my next one is the Caldwell. This is the Blind Man's Bluff. This is the Maduro, but there's the Blind Man's Bluff. I think has 3 or 4 different versions in the line. Maybe a few more than that. I'm not sure exactly, but it's right there in that $12 range, and it's by Caldwell, and it's another really good cigar.
Yeah, so this is part of one of the earliest freestyle lives, and probably the one that's done the best, in my opinion. They may say differently, but this is an amazing cigar. I thoroughly enjoy it every time. Matter of fact, I purchased this one tonight. But this is the M81 Blackened, and this is by Drew Estate, and they make a Connecticut version of this as well. I'm not a Connecticut guy. I have smoked it. It's a good cigar. But the Maduro version of this cigar, which is what I'm holding right here, the M81, this is an awesome cigar. They actually make a bourbon for those of you that do like an alcoholic pairing. They make a bourbon called Blackened Bourbon as well. And this is actually inspired from Metallica, the band Metallica. And they actually, had some say, or maybe some tastings in while this cigar was being made. Same thing with the Blackened Bourbon. And they say with the Blackened Bourbon that it is actually, the way it is aged because it's not an old brand, but the way it's aged is it's accelerated aged by being put in the whiskey barrels and having Metallica blared and the bass shaking the whiskey barrels helps it age better. I don't know, but that's what I've been told. So I think that's pretty cool. Um, but the Blackened M81, definitely a great cigar.
And then my next one is one we actually talked about this a little bit in a previous episode, but it is the New World Dorado. This is the Corona. I think it was right at $12 here. I don't know if you can get all of the Dorado line in that range, but this one was, so I jumped on it. Like we said, if you haven't had it, this one is definitely one to try. It's really, really good, solid cigar.
We did the Decenio review, and the Decenio is a great cigar. And when I said that the Dorado, if you guys remember, I said the Dorado was my favorite of the New World line up until the Decenio came out. And I guess maybe depending on the day or where my taste buds are for that day, they can go back and forth. They're great cigars. So my last one, staying with the AJ New World line, is the original. This is the New World, and this is straight Maduro. This right here, I think they had it for right at $10. This cigar for $10, phenomenal price. You can't really beat it. And just because we say the Dorado and the Decenio is great, this is
still good.
Yeah, this is still a great cigar. He's just building on. You can't just keep making the same cigar, so he's building every time. But this is where it all started with the regular New World. So if you got some cash in your pocket and you're looking to burn, go out and get you a New World. Whichever one you might want, go out and get you a New World. It's AJ Fernandez. You can't beat it. You can't beat AJ. Makes phenomenal cigars.
And then the last one for me, I had to get at least as close to Tatuaje as I could. This is the Surrogates Animal Cracker, which is kind of more of a budget-friendly line. Tatuaje does. Most of them are on the less expensive side. There are, I mean, not saying there aren't some that get up there, but most of the Surrogate line are in that, I'd say 10 to 12. Some of them get up to $15, but most of them are fairly inexpensive, and they're really good.
So, Izzy, you had a couple of honorable mentions.
So, to a lot of smokers, I know flavored and sweet cigars are taboo and a big no-no. But as a cigar lounge, we cater to everybody. So we do carry a full line of flavored cigars, Tatiana's, sweet tip cigars by Drew Estate. One of my favorite sweet tips is the Sweet Jane. It is not as sweet as the Fat Bottom Betty. It still has a good Maduro taste to it, and you still get that sweet tip, so it takes away a little bit of the bitterness of the Maduro. So if you want the strength of the Maduro and you don't like the bitterness, this is an excellent cigar to try. It's got the sweet tip, so you get a little bit of that sweetness when you're puffing on it. The other ones, I prepared them and forgot to bring them in. Is a line called M by Macanudo. They got 4 flavors on it, and while they are flavored cigars, I don't look at them as full flavored cigars. They are Maduro cigars that have just a tinge of flavor to them. We carry the coffee, vanilla bourbon, espresso and cream, and Irish cream. Vanilla bourbon is one of our best sellers, and a lot of people that have never touched a flavored cigar before, and I got them to try it, have come back for more. So if you want to venture out a little bit, nobody has to know about it. Come on down, and we'll hook you up.
And I will say, probably my wife's so it's kind of funny that you mentioned the M by Macanudo and the Sweet Jane. So my wife got she got started, taking puffs off of my cigars, but the first box she ever purchased for herself was actually the Sweet Jane. Um, it's a great cigar. The longer I smoke, the less I like to go for sweet tips or flavors and stuff like that. But that being said, every now and again I get a hankering for a Sweet Jane. They're a good solid cigar. Um, and the M by Macanudo is probably right now my wife's, aside from if she has any chance in the world to smoke a halftime, if we're just sitting, especially watching football on a Sunday or Saturday, she will always smoke a halftime just because she's watching football and she wants to smoke a football cigar. But usually when we come here to this shop, because they do carry the M, and again, the M is something that not everybody carries. But every time we come here, she always picks a couple up so that she could have one here and she could take a couple home for the humidor. If you haven't checked them out, definitely check them out. And then I know that Izzy has talked about this cigar, his other honorable mention, a couple of times. But again, the one that he's smoking, which is
Vega Fina.
Vega Fina, that is another one that he wanted to talk about just because it's a great cigar, he says. And what's the price point?
This is right at exactly $10. It's a good starter cigar. It's not completely mild. It does have a little bit of in it, but not even a medium. I'd say it's somewhere between a mild and a medium. Good enough to start your palate off on. Simple, good smoke every time, and I've been smoking them for 20 years. Never had a bad one. Um, don't see them anywhere. I haven't seen them anywhere in 10 years, and I stock them just because I smoke them. But they're on the shelf, $10. Really good smoke.
All right. So there you have it. We got 12 cigars, 13 cigars. One of them's not pictured because we didn't grab it out of the humidor. That being the M by Macanudo. But that being said, we got 13 cigars we talked about here that are all budget friendly. And again, I know that for some people, $12 is still hard to come by when you're dealing with cigars. But these are cigars that if we've talked about this before. You can order online as much as you want to, but in order to have brick and mortars here, where people could go, be a family, enjoy camaraderie, we need to support. And so that being said, if you say, hey, I can't afford a lot, you can still come in and you could get good quality cigars. Every single one of these cigars that's on the table right now, and there's plenty more in the humidor. You can go into a cigar shop. You could patronize a cigar shop, support local brick and mortars, and get the camaraderie and the family feel that everybody's looking for, and still stay in a budget friendly area. So that's why we wanted to do this here tonight. We could have done it from my man cave. But I wanted to include Izzy. I wanted to show off his lounge, the Smoke Break Cigar Lounge here in Columbia, South Carolina. And, we want to push local shops. And when I say local, I'm talking about local all over the nation, because they need us. They need our support. And they still have cigars that are affordable. You can walk out of here grabbing this 5-pack right here and be in the $50 range, if you wanted that 5-pack. Same thing with Trey's group. And again, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm cheap, so budget friendly is perfect for me. I'm not saying I never smoke a higher end cigar, but I like to stay in that budget friendly price range. So this was fun for me to pick out stuff that I smoke on a regular basis, that is in my humidor, and that I enjoy. So I hope you enjoyed it. Anything you guys want to add?
Just want to let everybody know we do offer discounts for veterans and first responders. This meeting room that we're sitting in is a private meeting room that is rentable for any kind of events. But if you are a first responder or veterans smoking club that want to have their meetings, this meeting room is free of charge.
Awesome. Awesome. And if you're in the area, if you're in the Columbia area, stop by, check out Smoke Break Cigar Lounge. And like I said, they even have golf. You can play the golf simulator here. So, um, not just smoking, but there's also fun things to do while you're smoking.
And let me add, if
Go ahead.
you're a beginner and you don't know anything about cigars, that's our specialty. Come on in. We'll show you around. We'll recommend the cigar to try. We'll cut it for you, light it for you, and make sure you enjoy your first cigar. And don't be afraid to ask questions. We don't look down at it. Everybody gets treated the same here. So if you want to get into the cigar hobby, come on in. We'll be glad to show you around.
Awesome. Good.
Yeah, that's how I got. It's not here, obviously, because it wasn't open when I got into smoking, but that's how I got started. I randomly smoked a cigar one time and enjoyed it, and then started going to a couple of the local shops and like, hey, I'm new, what do you recommend, kind of thing. And they, a couple of guys took me under their wing, showed me, hey, try this, and then next time, what'd you like about that? Okay, and then try this one, and so on and so forth until it got to the point where I go in, I'm like, hey, are you guys getting this? But yeah, that's what we said. That's why we say support your local brick and mortars, because of things like that. You can't do that with an online retailer. You can get cheap cigars, but they're not going to help you pick them out.
Well, we hope you guys are having a good night. Again, comment. Let us know what you guys are smoking while you're watching this. Light them up.
Keep them lit. All right, we are back in the cave, and we hope you guys enjoyed that piece on budget-friendly cigars that you can find in a shop. You should be able to find most of those in just about any shop. Like we said, stuff we enjoy, we like to smoke, that is a little more friendly on the wallet. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Add yours, anything you would add or take away, drop some comments.
Yeah.
Anything?
No, just like, subscribe, share, comment. And if you have not been to Smoke Break and you live in the Columbia or even just in South Carolina and you're driving through Columbia, check out Smoke Break Cigar Lounge. They are in the Irmo area of Columbia, and it's a really nice lounge. We enjoy it there. But again, thanks to Izzy and the guys from Smoke Break for allowing us to use your location. So we hope you guys have a great night, and we will see you soon. Light them up.
Keep them lit.